Here's what we're going to talk about today. The 5 secrets used by the world's very best companies to embrace constant change and growth. Everything you are going to hear about today is a result of data-driven discovery. During the past 12 years for my books, we have screened more than 220,000 companies. We have built dossiers on more than 45,000 businesses. I have interviewed more than 11,000 CEOs and business owners. During that time, we've generated more than 500,000 pages of interview transcripts, and we wrote the books on speed, productivity, growth, leadership, and reinvention. How many of you are prepared to sit there today and say that you want to be better at what you do? Raise your hands if you'd like to be better at what you do, okay? How many of you would like to be an even better leader than you are right now? Raise your hand if you'd like to be a better leader. And the third question is this: how many of you want to play a vital role in your store or your stores achieving their full economic potential and growing? Raise your hands if you do. I happen to be a Christian, but I love the study of other religions, and I love a statement attributed to Buddha, who said, "The teacher will come when the student is ready." For you see, if the student's not ready and the teacher shows up, nothing's going to happen. But if the student is ready and the teacher shows up, magic will take place. Leaders who embrace change and growth have a culture based on a noble purpose. When you take what you do and you turn it into a big, noble purpose, here's what happens. It provides everybody the reason for going to work in the morning. The second thing it does is it creates and maintains the momentum. There's no reason to say, go get them, boys and girls. I mean, we got to sell a lot of stuff today. Because it's the big, noble purpose that makes it happen. A big, noble purpose gains alignment, keeps everybody on the same page. A big, noble purpose builds a culture. And one of the most important things I will tell you today, and if you leave with nothing other than this, but there's a lot more coming, it would be this: the right culture is the only competitive advantage you will ever have in business. Because you see, I don't care what any store or what anyone buys, sells, does, produces, or services. Someday, what I know is this: somebody's going to do it better, faster, cheaper than you. You see, there's only one thing that any business can ever truly, really own, and that is the culture of the organization. You will have a culture, and it's one of two cultures. It is either the culture you want it to have, and you work to have, and you work to celebrate, and you work to make it alive for everybody every day. And if it's not that culture, there is a culture that exists by default. And the culture that exists by default is everybody out for themselves, not giving a damn. And everybody gets to have one or the other. Leaders who embrace change and nonstop growth make growth a guiding principle. Let me introduce you to Mike Long, fellow Midwesterner. He's the CEO of Arrow Electronics. He's taken this company to a $24 billion company based in Denver, Colorado. They handle all the parts that go into anything electronic in the world. He's a big, big guy, kind of imposing, played football in Ohio. And I mean, you kind of look at him and get a little bit scared, but like most big guys like that, he's a pussycat, he's a sweetheart. And so I'm sitting down with him for endless days, interviewing him for my book, The Reinventors. And I finally looked at him one day and I said, Mike, I got a question. I said, all you ever talk about is growth, 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 growth. Building new businesses, finding new businesses, buying new businesses, inventing new businesses, growth, 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 growth. I said, aren't you ever going to slow down? He said, I can't afford to slow down. I said, why? Is your shareholder or owner that greedy? And he said, what are you talking about? He said, companies that act first and foremost out of the interest of the shareholder or the owner make stupid decisions. Those are the people that shut down facilities and lay off people. He said, they're bad for everybody. He said, the reason you grow is for your people. He said, Jason, I got 30,000 people here. And what I can tell you is this: every one of them wants to make more money. There's not one among these 30,000 people who will tell you they don't want to make more money. Not one. And as I can tell you that almost all of them are going to want a promotion sometime. And he said, Jason, if I can't pay them more money, if I can't give them a promotion, you know what's going to happen? They're going to leave. And if they leave, you know what's going to happen? They are either going to join my competition or they're going to become my new competition. He said the magic in business is you grow to stay ahead of your people. That's what allows you to find and keep the right people. They're the people who allow you to find and keep and grow the right customer, and then that's how you keep the shareholder or owner happy. Leaders who embrace change and growth let go. The other thing that most organizations and people can't let go of is ego. Ego has nothing to do with feeling good about yourself. Ego is when the boss has to be the smartest person in the room. Now here's what happens. When the boss has to be the smartest person in the room, by the time information reaches the boss, it's been shaped and formed and turned to conform to the boss's view of the world. Winston Churchill, who saved England, saved the United Kingdom. Most people don't know this story. He was responsible for a lot of remarkable things. He had a truth squad of 12 people. And the job of the truth squad was only to tell him the truth. Because he said, look, my field generals and field commanders are going to tell me what they think I want to hear. And he said, I can't afford just to hear that. He said, I have to hear the truth.